we've been discussing Jesus for 3 weeks now, and his title, Christ. And you've heard it before. That simple word, which sounds so pious, is perhaps one of the most misunderstood concepts in the history of the church. Welcome to the Sebcast, where we turn our beloved stories on their heads, examining what history might have overlooked and discovering anew, all while growing together. Not because it's superficial, but it tilts the whole story. It shifts Jesus from a king to a character, from a ruler to a helper, from a revolutionary to a therapeutic figure, and in the process, we lose the impact of his coming. In the world Jesus lived in, a world dominated by Roman imperial language, emperor cults, and military power, the word Christ carried significant meaning. It said, God has appointed someone to rule, not Caesar, not Herod, but Jesus, the anointed, the king. And if you think Christ is just part of Jesus' name, then you start reading texts like Jesus is the Christ without hearing what it says. It's like calling someone doctor and thinking it's their first name. You miss the authority, the claim, the invitation, and the challenge. Because Jesus didn't come just to restore our inner peace, he came to start a new order, to reimagine the world. He brings an alternative reality, one that clashes with the logic of power, money, and control. And look at what that world looks like. The poor are blessed, not kept away or despised. Enemies are forgiven, not destroyed. Power doesn't flow from the top down, but grows from the bottom up. And love, not fear, is the primary driving force of human interaction. This is the kind of world only a king can bring, but only if that king doesn't look like the world's kings, because this king doesn't demand submission, he invites you to participate. He doesn't exercise control through violence, but through self-giving. And at the heart of his kingship is not vengeance, but grace. So here's the question. What if you've been in the church for years, but have only known Jesus as my personal savior? What if you haven't realized he's also the Christ? The one with rightful rule over everything, over economy, politics, families, identity, and yes, also your heart? Because if you see Jesus only as a savior, you use him when you need him. But when you start seeing him as king, you realize he asks for your whole life. The early followers understood this. That's why they could let go. That's why they could endure. That's why they began to live a new society, often in the shadow of emperors and persecution. Because they discovered that this good news is not just for sin, it's for everything. Your work, your friends, your enemies, your time, your money, your hope. And when you start seeing him as Christ, your prayers change, your priorities, your loyalty, your story. Until tomorrow, take care.